Hi, good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019 Board of County Commissioners meeting. I'm Kate Flavin, Public Information Officer with Sedgwick County. Early voting is currently underway here in Sedgwick County. Registered voters can vote from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. now through this week and next week at the election office here at the historic courthouse, 510 North Main. Early voting ends at noon Monday, November 4th. We also have early vote centers October 31st through November 2nd. Voting hours and locations can be found at our website, sedgwickcounty.org, or on our social media pages. I'd also like to remind everyone that we have two fun events happening this weekend. At 6 p.m. this Friday, head over to the Wichita Sedgwick County Historical Museum for a fun, family-friendly tour of the museum in the dark. There's going to be a torchlight tour of the museum, including a visit to the interior of the clock tower, which is a pretty rare experience. And then also on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, bring your ghouls and goblins to the Sedgwick County Zoo for Boo at the Zoo. Wear your costumes, gather candy, play games, and enjoy some Halloween fun. On the agenda this morning, Commissioners, we have meeting minutes, a proclamation declaring Wichita Junior ROTC Leadership Week, 2 board appointments and a resignation, a discussion of the new president of Exploration Place, and a review of the report of the Board of Bids and Contracts. Chairman, I'll let you start the meeting.
Well, thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. And I want to welcome everyone that's in the audience today, those that are joining us on KPTS, those that are joining us online. I want to make a special welcome to the cadets and the leadership of USD 259 GROTC, and we'll hear more from them here in just a moment. With that, I'd like to call the meeting to order for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Invocation to be led by Reverend Jill Sander Chile, College Hill United Methodist Church. Please remain standing for the flag salute.
I'd like to invite us to begin just by taking a deep breath. As you breathe in and feel the way the air fills your lungs, the way that it gives life to your body. As you breathe out those distractions or things that are perhaps not needed here in this space today. A loving God, may you flow within us as living water. May you be our fountain of life. Help us to drink deep from your wisdom so that we might never thirst again, that we can go through life refreshing many as a sign of healing for all. It is in the name of the one who is life eternal that we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend, thank you very much for being here today. We sincerely appreciate it. Madam Clerk, next item.
Roll call. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Present.
Commissioner Cruz.
Present.
Commissioner Howell.
Present.
Commissioner Meitzner. Chairman Dennis.
Present. Next item, please.
Public agenda.
Thank you. I don't have anyone signed up to speak on public agenda, but if anyone would like to speak on public agenda this morning, I'll give an opportunity at this time. Seeing no one, next item, please.
Consideration of minutes. Item A, regular meeting minutes of October 2nd, 2019.
Thank you. Move to defer items Alpha and Bravo.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz.
Aye.
Commissioner Howell.
Aye.
Commissioner Meitzner. Chairman Dennis.
Aye. Next item, please.
Proclamations. Item C, proclamation declaring Wichita Junior ROTC Leadership Week.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'd have a proclamation that I'd like to read. Whereas the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, or JROTC, was officially implemented in American high schools in 1916, began in Kansas in 1917, and in Wichita in 1994, making this the 25th anniversary. And whereas cadet leadership programs were started in selected middle schools in 1997, making Wichita a leader in the nation in this initiative. And whereas the junior ROTC and leadership programs were recognized in Wichita for building citizenship and good character in our youth, and whereas there are now more than 2,400 Wichita youth participating as cadets in 18 of our public schools. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Chairman David T. Dennis, and the Board of Sedgwick County Commissioners do hereby proclaim November 9th to 15th, 2018 as Wichita Junior ROTC Leadership Week. In recognition of these fine young men and women who are becoming better leaders and citizens for the future through their involvement in junior ROTC and leadership programs. Commissioners, you've all heard the proclamation. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Chairman Dennis?
Aye. And I'd like to welcome Colonel Hester and the Leadership Corps.
Hello and thank you. My name is Nadine Abasherbi. I am the Corps Commander for USD 259. I attend Southeast High School and I have been in the RTC program since 6th grade, and I am honored to have this position as District Corps Commander. To thank you, we would like to invite you all to our Veterans Day ceremony on November 7th, 10 a.m. at Century 2. It is where all JROTC and leadership cadets gather. It's the only time during the year that all cadets, 2,400 cadets, gather in one building to honor our veterans. As Chairman Dennis said, it is our 25th anniversary, so we are very, very proud of this occasion, and we would love to have you all there.
Thank you very much. Next.
Thank you for this proclamation. Also, I'm Callie Dilks. I'm the Deputy Corps Commander for this year. I would also like to invite you to the parade that's following the Veterans Day ceremony. That will be the 9th of November. It's where this is our 16th year. It's where a lot of our cadets go through color guards. We also have a big battalion march through the parade in our uniforms proudly, and we'd like to invite you to that as well.
Well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexandra LaForge. I'm the Corps Command Sergeant Major. I'm a junior in high school at Wichita South. I have been in the program since the 6th grade year, so about 6 years, and I have had the honor to go to this ceremony for the past 5 years, and it is a terrific ceremony. I hope you all can make it, or at least hear about it. The parade is also a lot of fun. There's good energy and everything. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a terrific day.
Thank you. Colonel Hester.
Well, Chair Dennis, and Commissioners, I just would like to thank you once more for the proclamation and for your outstanding support, and also the support from all the citizens in Wichita. We've got a great program. I thoroughly enjoy being a part of it, and we are accomplishing our mission of making cadets better citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is this the first time you've had an all-female leadership corps?
Yes, it is.
Oh, congratulations.
And they're great.
Fantastic.
They're doing an outstanding job.
Commissioner Cruz.
I'd like to get a picture with the three of you. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Can I come down there?
Absolutely.
Well, Commissioner Cruz is coming down there. Let me talk about the JROTC program. First of all, you are blessed, ladies, with the leadership you have. Colonel Hester is one of the finest gentlemen that I have ever had an opportunity to know in my life. And what he does for our citizens and our students is beyond compare. I sincerely appreciate what he does. Second, let me talk a little bit about JROTC and what it really truly means to the citizens here in our community. I'll let you get a picture and then we'll...
One more, girl. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Let me talk a little bit about JROTC. there's about 2,500 students here in Wichita Public Schools that are involved in that. A few years ago, I was on the State Board of Education and trying to figure out what we can do to make sure that the students that are coming out of our schools are prepared for life. And what we discovered is that JROTC students have better attendance rate, higher graduation rate, higher test scores. Everything points towards the positive for what you do. In addition, thousands and thousands of hours of community service are volunteered by all of these students that are involved in that. You do so much for our community and so much for our veterans. As a veteran myself, I sincerely appreciate what you're going to do on November 7th, 10 o'clock in the morning at Century 2, where that anyone that's ever seen a formal military parade, and several of us, Commissioner Howell and I, have had an opportunity to march in them. They're not always the most enjoyable thing to march in, but they are there to honor our veterans, and we appreciate that. A formal military parade is impressive, and then on top of that, when you have 24 or 2,500 students that are marching in a formal military parade to honor our veterans, that is more than impressive. In addition, those same students are going to be on November the 9th, starting right out here in front of our courthouse at 11 o'clock in the morning. They will be holding our annual Veterans Day Parade. We didn't get to do one last year because the temperature was absolutely cold, and we have to protect everyone. But we look forward to one this year. But beyond that, what does JROTC do to the citizens in the United States? What I learned when I was on the State Board of Education, that and this is not a recruiting pitch for the military. Let me make sure everybody understands that. I do not recruit for the military, and JROTC is not a recruiting tool for the military. It's a citizen way of teaching citizenship and discipline and honor. But what we learned was coming out of the high schools back when I was on the state board, and that wasn't too long ago, only 25% of all the students graduating from high school could enter the military service. And the reason for that was that they either made poor choices at some point along their lives, and they had run-ins with the law, or they were using drugs or other substances that were keeping them out. They couldn't pass the physical fitness test, or they couldn't pass the ASVAB test. So they didn't have the academic qualifications, the physical qualifications, or the moral qualifications to be able to enter the military. Well, why is that important? It's because that same 25% of those kids graduating from high school that couldn't go into the military are the same, or that could go into the military, are the same 25% that all of our businesses are looking at to hire, because they are the ones they're the role models. They're the ones that all of our businesses want, and they're the ones that we need for us to grow and prosper economically here in this region or across the United States. So what did we do while I was on state board? Because we're looking at that saying, wow, this is a serious problem. So we teamed up, honestly. Now, I'm an Air Force guy, 29 years, and very proud of it. Commissioner Howell's an Air Force guy, so you're not talking to any Army folks up here at all. But and Lonnie back there, he doesn't understand that, but we're pretty proud of the Air Force. Anyway, we teamed up with the Army, with the Sessions Command, to try and figure out what the problem was and what we could do to correct it. And really, one of the major corrections was how do we implement JROTC in other communities? And Colonel Hester, you probably don't know this, but he helped start the very first JROTC program out in Garden City. So we were trying to figure out how that we could expand that program across the state of Kansas to help our students and help our communities and help our economic development. So I am very, very proud, and I don't usually talk this long, but I'm very proud of what the JROTC does for our community and for our students and for our citizens. So I want to thank you for what you do. As a veteran, I want to thank you for what you're going to do for us here in the very near future. And I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Howell at this time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I echo the comments of the chairman this morning. I am also very, very proud. I did hear one of the students this morning say what school you are from, Southeast High School, but I would like to know the other two and also what grade you're in, if it's okay.
I'm from South, and I'm also a senior.
Okay.
I'm also from South, but I'm a junior.
Junior, all right. Well, you brought some excellent leaders this morning, Colonel Hester. Thank you for bringing them and showcasing some of the excellence of what you're doing, and I appreciate you so much for what you do for our community. I would just tell you that I've seen the parades, and as one that marched in one of those parades, I was very, very proud what we accomplished when you look at the precision and the uniforms and the discipline of what those leaders were able to bring to a group of people who didn't know each other, a few weeks before that. We wore a uniform. We were very proud of that. And I look back with great memories of the time that I got to wear that uniform, and I was so proud of everything that I was involved in. So I want to say I am proud of the 2,400 students that are involved in your program. And I just want to do some quick math. I think that's probably about 10% of the students that are eligible to be in ROTC are in this program, approximately, I would guess, just based on some quick calculations here. So it is Wichita's finest. I think that these young folks are on a path of success. They're going to be next generation's leaders, absolutely. I have a lot of faith in you for what you're doing. You've chosen a great course here. And by the way, it's about 15 years too late. I graduated Southeast High School in 1982, and it would have changed my life if I would have had the chance to be in a program like this. And so I know you're making a difference. I want to say thank you for what you do for our community. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Cruz?
Thank you, Chairman. The reason why I wanted the photo is because I have a 10-year-old daughter who is kind of obsessed with the Air Force. And I think that you guys in uniform will be inspirational to her, and I'm hopeful that she will follow in your footsteps. She'll be a 6th grader next year, and I'm just excited to see young women taking the charge and hopefully inspiring the next generation. So thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. I don't see any other comments, but one final thing is that Colonel Hester always asks me to sit on the Leadership Board Selection Committee each year, and so these young ladies are standing here. We're part of the reason that they are there is because we selected them last year during the selection process, and the students that come up during that selection process are exemplary, and you are the cream of the crop. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Again, thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Appointments. Item D, accept the resignation of Keith Hamill from the position of Treasurer for the Greeley Township Board.
Mr. Papoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Papoon, County Councilor. We can handle items D and E together. When there's a vacancy in a township position, it's up to the County Commission to replace that position. And item D is the resignation of Keith Hamill as the Treasurer for Greeley Township. Item E, on the recommendation of the Chairman, is to appoint Barbara Reichenberger to replace Mr. Hamill as the Greeley County Treasurer. We have a resolution prepared for item E to appoint Ms. Reichenberger, and we'd ask that you approve the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Papoon. I have received a letter asking to resign from Keith Hamill, and I've also received a recommendation appointing Barbara Reichenberger as the new treasurer. So I make a motion for both those items. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Chairman Dennis?
Aye. And Kelly, you ready to swear some folks in? Please approach the podium, and we'll swear you in this morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Please stand here and raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Sedgwick County Greeley Township Board Treasurer, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Congratulations. We'd like to say a few words.
No, I'm good.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for volunteering for this. Next item, please.
Item F, resolution appointing Madison Schreiner to the Sedgwick County Advisory Council on Aging and Physical Disabilities.
Mr. Papoon.
Mike Lapoon, again, County Councilor. This is Commissioner Cruz's appointment to the Sedgwick County Advisory Council on Aging and Physical Disabilities. These members are appointed for 4-year terms. Each commissioner has 3 appointments, and 1 member for each commissioner has to be 55 years or older. We have checked the resolution and the appointments, and everything's in proper order. And ask that you approve the resolution.
Thank you. Commissioner Cruz.
Thank you, Chairman. I am so excited to be appointing Madison today. When I went to Park City, I've been there a couple of times to their senior center, and it is a vibrant place. I feel that you are going to bring a wealth of just energy and creativity to this board. I worked in senior living for the better part of my career, and one thing I always admired was the life enrichment coordinators who worked in all of those buildings, and I thought that they had the funnest job. You know, isolation is the #1 killer of seniors, and I think that a lot of people, we grow up and we have this American dream where we want to build our house, and our house in turn becomes our isolation in old age. And I'm so excited that you have created just a great environment full of activities. I can't wait to go square dancing. I have yet to make it, but I'm so excited that you have accepted and are willing to serve in this capacity, because I know that you're already very, very busy. So I just want to say thank you so much, and I would make a motion we adopt the resolution appointing Madison Schreiner to the Aging and Physical Disabilities Board.
Thank you. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell? Chairman Dennis?
Aye. And please come up to the podium, and Kelly will swear you in.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Sedgwick County Advisory Council on Aging and Physical Disabilities. So, help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Very good. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you, Commissioner Cruz, for the kind words and for allowing me to participate in this advisory board. I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome. Thank you for volunteering. Madam Clerk, next item.
New business. Item G, discussion of the president position for Exploration Place.
Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Chairman Dennis and Commissioners. Tim Kaufman, Deputy County Manager. This is a milestone, another milestone day in the history of Exploration Place, the Sedgwick County Science and Discovery Center. As you all know, Jan Luth has announced her intent to retire as Exploration Place President and CEO at the end of the month, after 9 incredibly successful years here, culminating a wonderful career in the museum field. The role of President and CEO of Exploration Place is very important to the success of the county's cultural and recreation goals, and is designed to report both to the county and to the board chair of Exploration Place, our partner in the management of the museum. Given the unique nature of this position, a search committee was formed to assist in the process to identify the next president of Exploration Place. I was joined by current and former Exploration Place board members Junetta Everett, John Mosley, Jeff Pyer, Betsy Redler, and Dan Hamill, who served as the search committee chair. Patricia McDonald, the executive director of the Wichita Art Museum, also joined us. And we were assisted in this search process by the firm Kittleman & Associates. We began the search process through the review of the job description and the development of a job announcement. The job was advertised in a number of different ways, including professional and industry-specific publications and job boards, the Sedgwick County Employment website, Success Factors, and through the Kittleman website and through their network of professional contacts. Over 70 applications were received and were reviewed against the job description and announcements. An initial screening process was conducted and 10 candidates were presented to the search committee. After more consideration, 7 candidates were invited to an in-person interview. 5 candidates were in a position to accept that invitation, And they came to experience both Exploration Place and our community in person if they hadn't already. Based on those interviews, 2 final candidates were asked to return for an additional visit. These finalists experienced another formal interview and had a number of opportunities to meet with stakeholders, including commissioners, in a number of different settings. The search committee then solicited feedback from those stakeholders and developed a recommendation. This thorough process has brought us to this point in time. On behalf of the search committee, I'm glad to recommend that you authorize the chair to sign an employment agreement with Adam Smith to serve as the next president and CEO of Exploration Place. The search committee was impressed with Mr. Smith's years of museum management and science education experience. He's held executive leadership positions in museums in the United States and the UK, and has produced remarkable results in a variety of different settings. Most recently, he has served as the executive director of the Comic-Con Museum in San Diego, California. Adam earned a degree in history in England and an advanced degree in museum and general studies and gallery studies from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. His interests include aviation, and his vision and experience regarding STEM education positions him perfectly to become the next leader of Exploration Place. I'd like to recognize Dan HAMILL, the immediate past chair of the Exploration Place Board, and Christina Blummel, communications director of Exploration Place, joining us here in the audience today. And now I stand for any questions you may have, but I'm very excited about recommending the next president to build on all of the successes that Exploration Place has experienced.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. I had the opportunity to meet both of the finalists, and they were both very impressive. I think you made a great choice with Adam, but I'm going to defer the motion to our member that serves on the Exploration Place Board. So I'll turn it over to Commissioner Howell.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to commend all of the folks involved in this process. It's been nearly an impossible challenge to replace Jan Luth, first of all. I appreciate her service to this community. She is head over heels dedicated to the Exploration Place, and we appreciate her service. And I know she's got a dynamic personality, and so the challenge of replacing her was very, very, very difficult. And as we contemplated that, I was very concerned that we would not find someone super qualified. And I would just want to say the process that you used, you brought 2 really wonderful candidates. And I would tell you that my biggest problem was I didn't know how you guys were going to pick between the 2 of them. They were both excellent. And so your process, I think, worked. And I just want to commend all the folks involved in how you did that. I think it was very, very well done. So let me just give my appreciation to you for that. But in terms of Adam Smith, he is an exceptional person. And I know that his connection to aviation got me very excited. And he's a passionate person with aviation, and I think it's a good fit for our community. His vision for STEM education for older people, not just the younger folks, but for older kids, young maybe high school folks, I think is maybe an area that we probably could focus on, and I think he brings that to the table naturally. He has a vision for that. So, and there's so many other things I could say about him. So I know this is a great choice, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time or not, but I would, at some point, when you're ready, Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Very good. Thank you. Before we have a motion, there's one other piece of business you probably ought to address, and that is an award that Jan Luth recently received and will be given, I think, on November the 8th, as I recall, if you'd like to address that.
That is correct. She was recognized. You're going to have to help me with the title of the award that she received, but she has been recognized once again as an outstanding leader in the field of science education in museums, and we're very proud of the work that she's done at Exploration Place, and it's an apt recognition for her once again.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner O'Donnell?
Thank you. Tim, can we talk about the unique arrangement we have regarding his pay? Because
Certainly.
One of the concerns that I had when you came and addressed this to me was that his starting pay was going to be more than the pay of the director of the zoo. And when you just look at overall employees, when you look at overall visits by the public and investment by the county, that seemed to be a little bit wonky, and you responded by talking to the board, and you might discuss what that response is now.
Sure. One of the things that we recognize is that this is a unique position. I've referred to it as a hybrid position because it reports both to the county and to the Expiration Place Incorporated board chair. And so as we recognize that this is really an employee market across the country in many different ways, in an effort to attract the type of candidate that we were going to need to lead us forward and build on all of the successes that Jan has had, was that we were going to need to compensate them. When the zoo director came, he did not have experience as an executive director. Mr. Smith certainly does. He's got extensive experience as an executive director. And in an effort to reward him, we've structured a deal with the Expiration Place board where we will compensate Mr. Smith at $35,000 a year. They will provide an additional compensation of $10,000 a year. So it's a hybrid pay system as well to recognize the unique nature of the job. And so in an effort to make sure that we have a candidate that's qualified and able to deliver the kind of leadership that we need, that's how we settled on this final pay arrangement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I appreciate your willingness to work on that, because I do think just when you're looking from the outside in and you look at the two entities, there shouldn't be that much of a disparity. And if you're just looking at overall visits and community investment, the zoo director should be making substantially more money than the Expiration Place director. And I understand the caveats that you're mentioning, but just it would look, in my opinion, severely out of place to be paying the Expiration Place director substantially more money than the zoo director.
Sure, and one of the things that we're excited about here at the county is that over the next few months, our HR department is going to work with a consultant to help us evaluate our compensation structure across the organization, and that will certainly be an opportunity to, again, to look at these positions as well.
Yeah, well, I'm not advocating to start spending more money and paying everybody more, so that's not, I hope that's not what the consultant's saying, because we got big expenses with the jail that just came up last week that we're trying to keep our budget balanced.
It's a delicate balance that we're working with every day to make sure that we're able to deliver services that are needed and compensate our employees fairly. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Cruz.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to say thank you for involving me in the process. I thought that it was really great to hear from both candidates as far as what they thought could be improved, what they really liked. So I was impressed with both of them. I know I sent a pretty lengthy email about what I really felt. But you know, Jan's shoes are going to be hard to fill. But I'm so excited that at who you've selected. I thought Adam was. He paid attention. He noticed things. He asked questions. I was really impressed at his want to be a part of our community, and he really loved how sort of small town, big city we are. And I thought that was just really, he just seemed very genuine in wanting to connect with our community. So I'm really excited for Exploration Place. Again, just thank you so much for involving me in the process. I thought it was really a unique opportunity, so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, and thank you all commissioners for the perspectives that you were able to lend the search committee as we went through the process.
Thank you. Commissioner Cruz, Commissioner Howell, I'm sorry.
That's a first.
Just wanted to clarify the negotiated employment contract that you guys worked through. It's ready to go. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
So all we need to do right now is make a motion to approve that contract as you described it this morning.
Yes, sir.
Let me just also say Exploration Place was in the news recently. We are hitting our 20-year anniversary right now, and that's an exciting celebration for this community. And as I've said, I think for 5 years here, every time you guys come and present kind of a status of where you're at, you continue to break records. And I think this is one of my concerns was, are we going to be able to keep this up? I think Adam is the right guy to continue that trajectory. I'm excited. This is a good day for Sedgwick County. Absolutely. And so with that, Mr. Chairman, I would just want to, by the way, also I'll just say also this is another successful public-private partnership. So again, the fact that you guys are involved in some of the salary, I think, is tremendous as well. Anyway, with that, I want to just make a motion, Mr. Chairman. We would approve the negotiated contract for hiring Adam Smith as Executive Director and CEO of Exploration Place.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. I want to just, as part of the discussion, just say that I appreciate the involvement that the Exploration Place Board gave to the county commissioners. I appreciated meeting Adam and the other applicant. It was very informative. I appreciated the folks that came and talked to me and asked what my opinion was at the end, and I support the motion. And I also want to recommend, if anyone wants to go up to congratulate Jan on November 8th, we need to get reservations in pretty quick for that. I know I've already got my reservation in to go to the luncheon, so if anyone else wants to, please let us know as quickly as possible. With that, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
And Chairman Dennis.
Aye. Next item, please.
Thank you,
you
Commissioners.
very much for being here.
Item H, report of the Board of Bids and Contracts, regular meeting on October 17th, 2019.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning, Joe.
Joe Thomas, Purchasing Director. The most recent meeting of Board of Bids and Contracts on October 17th results in one item, and this item is the compact excavator for Public Works Fleet Management. Recommendation is to accept the quote from Clark Equipment Company, doing business as Bobcat Company, and is based on the Sourcewell contract 040319 CEC, and that's in the amount of $69,494.98. I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you may have, and I do recommend approval of this item.
Very good. Any questions?
No, I'd like to make a motion. We would approve the recommendations of the Board of Bids and Contracts. And the purpose of this excavator, by the way, I think is connected to the stream maintenance program that we have here. And I think it's really a great addition to our team of effort there. Thank you, Chairman.
Very good. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Chairman Dennis.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Next item, please.
Consent agenda.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Tom Stoltz with the Manager's Office, recommending consent items I through U this morning.
Thank you. I move to approve India through uniform.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Chairman Dennis.
Aye. Next item, please.
Legislative issues.
Mr. Papoon.
Mr. Chairman, I'm a Capone County Councilor. Just to remind everybody that next Tuesday, the 29th, the BOCC is going to discuss at a staff meeting potential legislative issues for the 2020 Kansas legislative session, and I know you've received some materials on that. And then on November the 12th at around 4 or 4:30, they haven't nailed the date, the exact time down, the Kansas Association of Counties will be reviewing their proposed legislative platform late that afternoon. And then at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, 11/13, Commissioner Cruz will be casting her vote on behalf of the county for the platform. So.
Very good.
Better make it a good one.
Anything else? Any commissioners have anything for legislative agenda? Very good. Next item, please.
Other.
Any commissioners have anything for other today? Commissioner Cruz?
I just want to remind everybody to get a flu shot. The past couple of days, I have been down and out with something. I don't know what it was. I didn't get my flu shot yet, as I instructed all of our employees last Monday. So I'm going to do that right after this. But please go get a flu shot. Please wash your hands. It is going around, and it is not fun. So I just want to remind everybody to do that.
Very good. Commissioner Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted just to say that we had the shred event on Saturday. It was a great event, by the way. Based on what I know about that, I think we may have broke a record on that. They had a huge number of cars, and it was a lot of fun to get out there and the crisp autumn air and to meet many, many people. It was a great event, but during that time I got to work alongside Commissioner Tabitha Lehman, Election Commissioner, and I happened to ask her, how are you doing on workers? And she said she said Saturday she still needs a few workers. And so I don't know if we have a status where we are on election workers for this coming election. I'm not sure if anybody knows. I don't know. If we have a need, I guess my question would be, are we allowing our staff here, if they can juggle their responsibilities, are we allowing them to fill those positions if we need to?
Historically, Commissioner, we've done that, and we will do so again this year. If the election commissioner is needing help, we'll do everything we can to support her.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for that. I would just say that before I ever became an I ran for office the first time in 2010. And before 2010, I worked a number of elections as a supervising judge, both as a poll worker and then as a supervising judge. And numerous years I did that. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience. Very long day, but I think there's nothing compares with that, trying to understand exactly how elections are supposed to work. And as canvassers of elections, I said I would be glad to help in any way I possibly can. So it did raise a question of whether or not a commissioner would be ever allowed to work an election, and it sounds like there may be some conflict as to why we can't do that potentially, but it might be worthy of a question to the Attorney General potentially. And I'd like to ask you all to wonder, I guess I wonder, if there's elected officials that ever want to work an election, it's a great experience, but I don't know if we can do that as as a Board of Canvassers. And I would like to know if we might want to ask the Attorney General to weigh in on that. Mr. Papoon, any comments?
Yes, Commissioner Howell, you've asked the question of whether a commissioner can serve as an election supervisor, and the potential problem of also serving as one of the canvassers of the election. And I pointed out to the commissioner that there's some issues involving compatibility of offices and another statute that we're looking at that deals with what kinds of activities commissioners can get involved in. And I told him, to be safe, if commissioners had an interest in doing this, I would like to see that you guys are protected with an Attorney General's opinion or something that of the like that would allow you to do that. But right now I have some concerns that you might not be able to do that.
And I guess I'd like to also differentiate between maybe there's other electeds that potentially would want to do this, and maybe it's okay for them, but not okay for us. Maybe we could do maybe we could work as a poll worker, but not as a supervising judge. Another potential solution to that. Of course, I think it's obvious we would not be able to work an election that we would be where we would appear on the ballot. That's obvious, I think, but to the extent we would like to just be helpful, any staff person or any electeds, if they want to help, my question would be, what are we allowed to do? And I'd like to clarify some of that potentially with a question to the Attorney General. So I'd like to just bring that up as an issue for us to think about and potentially support a letter to the Attorney General from the counselor to clarify some of these things.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have anything today? Just a couple things. I did get my flu shot, by the way. One thing that I want to point out, though, is that Sedgwick County does not provide the senior flu shot. And I keep getting on our manager. I'm hoping that either our Department of Aging or our Health Department or our manager, someone figures out what we're going to do next year to make sure that we protect our seniors. So I would like to see the senior flu shot available. We are the Board of Health, and we need to make sure that we protect our seniors. Second thing that was mentioned about the shred event, I was able to relieve Commissioner Howell on his position. We were taking funding for donations for the food bank. And I was amazed at the generosity of our citizens. When I relieved him, he had a huge pile of money. I ended up, he gave me the little packet, and I ended up dumping it twice because I filled it up 2 times during the time that I was serving. And in addition, we had a double line of cars coming in there for that shred event the entire time until they put the cones out, because it was supposed to stop at noon, and it actually ran a little past noon. We had a double line of cars coming in the entire time. So it was a very, very successful event. So what I'd like is a little bit of feedback on how much pounds or tons or however that they measure it in paper that we got that we shredded, and a little bit of feedback on how much we got donated to the food bank in cash. We didn't get a lot of cans and so forth. We got some. I'm not quite as interested in that because we didn't get a whole large amount of food directly donated, but we got a ton of cash, and people were handing me 20s. And it was, what was really pretty cool was it wasn't very well advertised that we were going to do the event for the food bank. And so people were coming up there, and they were emptying out their ashtrays with every bit of coins that they had. I'd actually have to empty my bag because it weighed so much from all the coins, too, in there. But people were truly volunteering. It was totally voluntary, whether they donated, and the generosity of our community is fantastic. I appreciate that. The final thing I'd like to talk about briefly is the zoo. Tomorrow morning, I think it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, the zoo is going to release their new branding. And we would have done it today, but we didn't want to overshadow Exploration Place, because what we were doing today on the Exploration Place is very important to our community. But tomorrow morning, you're going to see what the new brand is. I had an opportunity to see it yesterday afternoon, and it's fantastic. The other thing that's coming up with the zoo is that they've already pretty well moved out the gift shop, moving it over to the new location. We're going to be opening up the new entrance, well, not the new entrance, the substitute entrance for a period of time as we go through the construction project. But what we're looking at probably in December is a groundbreaking ceremony to start the construction on the new entrance. Now, if you look at the existing entrance on the zoo, it's all concrete, so it's a little difficult to have a groundbreaking situation on a big, vast amount of concrete. So wear your hard hats and your goggles, because we're going to take sledgehammers out there, and we're going to have a groundbreaking. So stand by for further information about the groundbreaking for the new zoo. So, any other commissioners or anything?